YouTube universe. What is going on, all my hitmen and Harley Quinns? You know who it is. It's your favorite mother freaking role model, the Buddhist Musa with an attitude, aka Mr. Wonderful. Hitman Thornton for Raw Reaction TV. What's good, people? All right, let's just get right to it, because the more I try to figure this show out and dissect things, my head starts to hurt. Seriously. Okay, so Loki episode 2, the Variant. All right, basically the gist of it is now they're after a Loki, and they need Loki to find him, to help find him. Okay, Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, basically is needing his help. So what best way to catch a villain is with the villain kind of thing. His butt's on the line with the boss, or Ravana, or whatever. So his butt's on the line because everyone doesn't agree with him working with Loki, but they understand why. They just don't like it. Okay, so basically the show opens up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Fargo, people. All right, and basically the TVA hunters, like the police, they're tracking the Variant, the other Loki. So they go into this tent, and by the way, the lead TVA hunter of this group is C20, who is played by Sasha Lane, who I have not seen since that failed Hellboy reboot. She's the one that was psychic. And she's probably done some other stuff since that Hellboy, but I'm saying I haven't seen her since that Hellboy reboot. So it's good to see she's still working. And I just want to say on a side note, I like that Hellboy reboot. Yes, there was a lot of problems with it, but I understood what they were trying to do. But if they would have focused just more on story and characters and whatnot, maybe got a better director, instead of trying to focus more on the 3D and it being rated R and all that, it could have worked. It could have worked. But anyway, so C20, played by Sasha Lane, they're going to this big tent looking for the other Variant, Loki. And then somehow she gets mind melded, hypnotized, her eyes turn green. So basically this Loki can, mind manipulate people and get him to do whatever he wants. So she starts taking out her whole squad, starts killing them, whooping their ass. And then she passes, then she ends up, fainting, passing out, whatever. Loki obviously, turned the power off in her head, took her abilities out of her head. And then Loki steps in and, takes somebody out. So, and then takes one of the time charges, or time resets, the reset charges, and basically drags C20 through the door portal. And there you go. So smash cut to back at the TVA. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, back at the TVA, you have Loki in there reading some jet ski magazine, and this hologram Mini Minutes or Ms. Minutes is quizzing Loki on the rules and regulations and what happens if the timeline, this happens to the timeline, if that happens to the timeline, just whatever. And Loki, doing what Loki do, he can give two shits about it. He's like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then he asks the Ms. Minutes, are you real or are you recording? And it says, I'm kind of both, because it's a hologram, but it's kind of walking around freely. So he tries to swat at it like a fly or something, and it hops around saying, hey, knock that off, that's mean, that kind of crap. Then hops into the screen, and then Mobius shows up, Owen Wilson's character, shows up, saying, hey, put my Jessica down, let's go, we got a case. So they basically gather the troops, and that also includes B15, I believe her name is, the sister, who came across this our Loki in the first episode, she got major attitude, don't like him. So Mobius is schooling everybody on the Loki that they're after, and got to be aware that there are going to be different variant versions of the Loki from all the different type of timelines, and he has a hologram of all the different Lokis and what they'll look like. And of course, Loki's doing what he do, being slick at the mouth, being a smart ass, and saying, oh, there's a difference between projection and astral projection, just all this stuff. So they head to the Oshkosh, the scene of crime where all the other TV hunters got taken out, basically. And Loki, bottom line, he's got a plan. He's up to something. He always keeps mentioning that he wants to meet the timekeepers. And I just want to say real quick, the whole thing seems suspect to me. The TVA, the time hunters, these timekeepers, it all seems suspect to me. It just does. I'm just getting a weird vibe. And so they found the time hunters that they were there before they got killed, and they just investigating, doing their little investigating thing. And Loki, again, just I'm saying, don't step outside the tent. He's waiting for you. That's what he wants you to do. Just buying up time. Loki's just buying up time, just rambling, saying all these things. What's the possibilities? When all the while he's just telling Mobius that, hey, I'm going to get that meeting with the time hunters, the timekeepers, right? And then Mobius finally figures them out. There's nobody out there. He's just talking shit as usual. So they go back to the headquarters, and so they go. He takes Loki to this library where he can do some investigating to find out where this Loki that they're tracking is going to be at, where is he going to move to, all that kind of stuff. So he tells him, do some homework. I'm gonna go have lunch. So Loki starts snooping around. First, he goes up to this library and asks, can he have who the timekeepers are? She says no, classified. Beginning of time, can I have those? That information? No, classified. And he's like, okay, what can I have then? And she basically gets him his file. So that's all basically he can read. So he starts going through the file, and then he comes across, which is kind of heartbreaking, he comes across the destruction of Asgard. So, Ragnarok, where Asgard got destroyed by the fire demon thing. I forgot its name, but Hela was there and all that. And he sees that, and he starts to well up, get emotional a little bit. But then he notices on it says no time variants were detected. So then, boom, it hits him, and he goes and tells Mobius that basically he figured out that he is hiding in apocalyptic, catastrophic apocalypse or whatever, destruction, where everyone dies, annihilations. And Mobius doesn't believe him, so they had to go test the theory. Yes, I'm rambling through it because there's just too much detail to go rambling on about. So they go test the theory. They go to Pompeii, the volcano that destroyed and killed everybody. And so Loki goes into Pompeii. Mobius is telling him, we can't, disrupt her, because it could change the future. He goes, everyone's about to die anyway. So Loki just runs out there and just starts talking shit to everybody. Oh, you're all gonna die, but he's speaking in their language. You're all gonna die. There's a volcano. We're from the future, so we know all this information. Blah blah blah. The next thing you know, he frees all of these goats. Next thing you know, volcano erupts. And then during all that time, when Loki's acting fool, Mobius notices on his device that no time variants are detected. So they're not detected. So he's right. So they go back. He tries to talk to, Mobius goes to talk to Ravana, whatever, the judge that Loki had to stand before in the first episode. Because she's basically the one, in charge that's speaking for the timekeepers. And Mobius has to go to her to get, it's almost like the captain of a, police station. You got to go to her to get the okay to go do stuff. And, he has to sweet talk her and do all this kind of stuff. And again, they don't like the fact that he is working with Loki, but they understand. So he tried to tell her that, hey, the other Loki that we're tracking is hiding in all these apocalyptic events. We just got to find where. So they eventually did, look it up. And Loki discovered when they went back to the library, they figured out, okay, and maybe jumping scenes too, but they did go to the library, figured out which apocalyptic or cataclysmic event that this Loki may be hiding in. So they figured out it's hiding in Alabama it was a hurricane, a level 8 hurricane. It only goes up to 5, so this is the future. So it's 2050 in Alabama, Haven Hills, and all these people from the town are hiding in this rocks cart. It's like a combo of Walmart meets Costco kind of place. So anyway, so again, they gather the troops to go to this rocks cart place to go to Alabama to track down the Loki. At first, Mobius was happy for him. Okay, you helped me out. You're smart. You're clever. Cool. But also before then, again, I forgot about the kablooey gum, which was kind of nasty. He finds the kablooey gum, shows Loki that because when they were talking earlier, again, I'm all over the place, but don't care. This show is confusing that sometimes. Loki and Mobius go back and forth with a little trash talking, and Mobius says, "I see a scared little boy," and all this stuff, and that's how and then later on when they're talking, when Loki says to him, I'm not a scared little boy, I know more than a little boy does," and then that's when Mobius, Owen Wilson's character, he has that house moment where he says, "Little boy, scared boy," and then he remembers the kid that he came across in the first episode. They had the kablooey gum, so that's how he figured it out, and they went from there. So now we're at the Rocks Cart store in Alabama during the whole level 8 hurricane. All right, so they get to the Rocks Cart place, which is kind of cool looking. That is huge hologram of a greeter outside. It's ginormous. So they go in there and to find the other Loki. So they come into their device. They have all the devices, they track the Variant, and they go back and forth about who's Loki that's with them, who's he supposed to, who's he going to roll with, who's he going to hang with, Mobius or her. And he says, then he finally said, okay, I'll go with her because I understand I have to earn people's trust and all that. So he rolls with her, and then they come across some guy looking at plants. And he's like, okay, what are you doing? So I'm just looking at these plants. And he's like, during a hurricane? He's like, well, it's a hurricane cell, trying to be witty. And she looks at Loki and is like, is that you? And it goes, well, I would be wearing a suit, but possibly. And it turns out it is. She, possessed another body. Not necessarily possessed, but, mind, a little mind trick controlling him. Basically using his body to distract them while the other Loki is setting all the time reset charges. Again, got a plan. So then the TVA hunter, B-15, walks up to the guy to try to talk to him, and then he grabs her, the mind meld thing or whatever, transfer over to her. Green, the eyes turn green, you see his energy light moving to her. She has green eyes, so now she is talking like the other Loki, and Loki's like, oh, me, I presume. So now they're having conversations going back and forth about, what's going on, what the plan is. Loki, our Loki, he has his own plan. They exchanging words and ideas back and forth. And at one point, Loki says, "Oh, now I see why Thor found this so annoying." And then they did another body transfer where Loki transferred from B-15 over to this Roxcart employee that was walking around. So it just a lot of that. Again, just buying up time, and then transform. Then the the energy moves into a bigger dude that starts smacking Loki around. But eventually, the other Loki reveals himself, and it turns out it's a woman. It's a female version of Loki, Lady Loki, if I believe. And from what I understand in the comics, Lady Loki is supposed to be from our Loki's like soul or something like that. Is a reincarnation of Loki's soul, basically, in the comics. So we're not quite sure what Lady Loki this is, because first of all, it doesn't look like the Loki from the comics. This one's blonde, short hair in the comics, long black hair, and also because you got some people thinking that it could be Enchantress, this one, or a combination of Lady Loki and the Enchantress. So who knows? Who knows, people? I told you this show is confusing. I'm getting confused explaining it to you because it's a lot, people. It's a lot of detail. So reveals herself, and they're going back and forth. In the meantime, the lady that B-15 that got possessed, she got knocked out, and also the other TVA hunters, along with Mobius, they're snooping, they're searching around. They see all the people hiding out from the storm. One of the TVA hunters gets snippy with one of the people. Mobius, Owen Wilson's character, tried to tell him, "Hey, chill, relax, they're scared." And he's, "Oh, they're about to die, they should be." And he's like, "Hey, but they're not supposed to be scared of us, okay? Chill, all right?" And then one of the other TVA hunters comes to Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, and they ended up finding C-20. But she's handcuffed and shackled up and kind of just acting all, spaced out, repeating, "It's all real, just starts freaking out, just freaked out. And eventually they tried to move her, take her back. She's like, "No, I told how to find the timekeepers. I said how to find them." So she obviously gave away a secret to where the timekeepers are. So then we go back to Lady Loki and Loki, obviously. And next the lights go out, and it turns out she rigged all the the reset charges, because it goes black, and then she presses some buttons, and you see it's an upward shot, and you see all the time reset charges start lighting up like a Christmas tree, like lights on a Christmas tree, from all the different aisles. She has them all rigged in. Plus, they were all counting down too. There was a timer as well. And next thing you know, these portals under the time reset charges open up, and all the time reset charges fall through these portals. And back at the TVA headquarters, people looking at the screen, looking at the main timeline, and they start seeing all these branches popping off from the timeline, and everyone starts freaking out. So basically and it's also a list of where Lady Loki sent the time reset charges to all these different places in time, basically to create havoc. Even Ravonna was sitting in her office and saw it. She freaks out. She goes and grabs her little, boomstick or whatever the TVA hunters use. And next thing you know, you see all these TVA hunters running through these door portals. My guess is to go to a lot of the different places in time where these charges were sent, probably to try to fix them or grab them before something really happens. And of course, Lady Loki is telling our Loki that, it's not about you. And basically, she was just stalling for time by chatting with him and, keeping him at bay. The next thing you know, she opens up a time portal, door portal, that is. Waves to him, walks through it, and he's staring out like, damn, should I go? And next thing you know, you see Mobius and the rest of the crew running towards Loki, and Mobius is yelling, Loki, wait, Loki, wait. Loki's standing there looking at him, and you see he's contemplating. He goes, and he might as well say, F it. Goes after Lady Loki through the time door. Door closes. And Mobius just freaks out because he knows that's his ass now. So, yeah, I know there's probably a lot I skipped and forgot. So leave the comments down below and, let me know. And also let me know what you think of the show so far. I think it's entertaining. Confusing as hell, but it's entertaining. I'm digging it. I am digging it. This is the show's, trying to figure out all this time stuff and what matches up, because also I figured that like some of the stuff that happened in game got changed up with the show. So from what I heard, so it's wow. Last time my mind hurt this much is trying to do math as a kid in school. So yeah. Anyway, so leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and also if anything I've missed. Hit like, share, subscribe. Definitely that like button, the thumbs up, so my video can get out to the masses and be recognized, so your boy can get famous. All right, so until next time, this is Hitman Thornton, your favorite mother freaking role model, the Buddhist with an attitude, aka Mr. Wonderful. Until next time. Peace out, biatches. And remember to always stay zen as fuck.